Hi there, I'm Josh, and today we're talking about Avatar Frontiers of Pandora on a variety of different graphics cards that are outside of what Ubisoft recommends. So, Ubisoft has a website where you can check and see if your graphics card is up to snuff and your CPU and stuff like that. But I decided to test something a little bit different today, and we're actually going to use an older CPU as well as some of these GPUs and then get to some more modern CPUs as well. But with that said, we are running at i7-6700 for two of the benchmarks, and that is paired with 32 gigs of RAM, so there should be no RAM bottlenecking whatsoever. And the last benchmark, the RTX 4090, runs on my personal rig, the R9 5900X, with 32 gigs of RAM. So let's hop into the benchmarks. Up first, the GTX 1060 at 1080p with a low preset ran with an average frame rate of 21 frames per second, a minimum frame rate of 15, and a maximum frame rate of 28. So we weren't able to hit 30 FPS on this card at 1080p with the low settings, but if we drop it down to 720p, we saw an average frame rate of 42, a minimum of 25, and a maximum of 54 frames per second. So you're able to get above the 30 FPS threshold if we played at 720p. I think with FSR, that shouldn't be any issues to hit 30 FPS, but the game does recommend a 1070 for minimum. Up next, the RTX 2060 at 1440p with the low settings ran with an average frame rate of 51, a minimum of 39, and a max of 70. So although we weren't able to get 60 FPS at 1440p, we did see a pretty consistent frame rate throughout, and I wouldn't have any issues playing this game at this resolution with the RTX 2060. Now the issue is we dropped it down to 1080p and the i7-6700 was actually a bottleneck, so we only saw an average frame rate of 46, a minimum of 31, and a max of 60. So this card is great for 1440p gaming, and I'm sure it's great for 1080p as well if you have a stronger CPU to go with the RTX 2060. And last but not least, the RTX 4090 at 3440 by 1440. We were not able to change resolutions because Avatar is not optimized for that for some reason, but nonetheless we saw an average frame rate of 78, a minimum of 45, and a maximum of 92. So no issues whatsoever playing this game. So in summary, you should check what the Ubisoft recommended settings are and see if your graphics card can play it. I think the 1060 should be able to squeak by. Anything below that had issues. My GTX 960 actually died while trying to do this, so now there's graphics artifacting, so I don't know what happened there, but that's what happened. I don't think that's the cause of the game whatsoever. That's a logical fallacy, but I just wanted to say it because I thought it was funny because I wanted to run this game on a 960. The i7-6700 is not meant for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. You're going to have to get a newer CPU, but I think that is to be expected considering it is a 4-core 8-threaded chip. But if you have an RTX 2060 or better, you should have no issues playing this game at all. If you have a GTX 1070, you're looking at the minimum specs. If you have a 1080, 1080 Ti, you won't have any issues playing this game either if you expect 30 FPS to be your average. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like, subscribe, do what you usually do, and as always, buy yourself something nice.